Yes. You guys interviewed long enough, or we might still play. I guess I'm going to see. There is a seat on the end. If we grab chairs, you still have cover. Charles? Yeah, Charles, there's a seat on the end. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah. But I should get people out there to indicate Josh. Just in case. Yeah, if he's going to run around and moderate. I'll give him I'll moderate. Here, yeah, sure. He's got the chance. He's got one of the bigger people. Nice. Yeah. I'm just happy to be Oh. Yeah. Oh. But you know the actual reason that I'm using this, so I feel like which is also there's no well, not it's speaking cyberphones but the only room to get to go with the basement was the office unit. Is how yeah, he can go down here. I think that's like himself. You know, they've done karaoke here. There's always either with the offering.
But there's no venue space.
Yeah, not a
As the kids at the restaurant, they did karaoke. So you get back to the way the karaoke was, should we start playing it?
I think that's on the restaurant.
The restaurant can be us during karaoke.
Yeah, maybe possible. We can do everything.
Yeah, but whenever you guys feel ready, I'll just clear the call.
Is anyone new to Sheriff protocol? So basically, don't move the base around. You can't just move the top part. Otherwise, we get the thumbs away from us. And then Paul's going to kill us.
Yeah.
He's done that to me before, and it was harmless. He saw me dead so many times. You look pretty good for being dead. Well, you know, I clean up. All right.
One of those.
I got good sleep. John.
All right, Transformers fans. So to close out our amazing weekend together, we'd like to finish with a roundtable podcasters discussion. So give it up for our podcasters. And I am a lazy moderator, so I'm going to let you introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Eric from the TFW podcast.
I am Chris Vangelis, the mind freak from Las Vegas, from the TFW podcast.
I am Jen, aka Trickster with an X. It's never totally in that way. From IconUnderground.net. I did TFcon and Icon Underground Radio.
David, also from Icon Underground. I'm Daryl. I go by Cybertron and Beast, and I'm from the Transmission podcast. I'm Scott, aka Dr. Pants from the Transmission podcast and from Nerds for Comics on YouTube.
The Dr. Pants? The Dr. Pants from One and Only.
Oh my goodness.
My name is Michael. I'm from Children of Primates. We podcast where we can on YouTube. So catch us on YouTube.
I'm Charles, aka Big C, and I'm also from the Transmissions podcast.
Hey, can I be real selfish for like 1 second?
I'm surprised it took you this long.
Okay, so my mom's in the hospital, and I want to give her a little bit of cheer. So if in like 3 seconds from a countdown, if y'all could just give a big hey, noisy noise, boys, kick ass. That would be really cool. Are we down? Sure. Okay. In 3, 2, 1, hey mom. Thank you. I'm not putting that online. I'm just saying that to her. I did that on Friday, and it really lifted her spirits, so I want to do it again.
Such a softie.
That's also why I said, have you selfish at first? So when someone said no, I'd be like, wow, you hate my mom? Katie, did you all go to TFcon? Yes.
I sure did.
No, I missed it. What happened? It's all right. For those of you who went, Oh, well, it was kind of hot. I don't know if you noticed, it was kind of hot in the dealing room.
Oh, yeah.
Actually.
Oh, yeah.
I gave a tip for anybody who came to TFcon, so go on Children of Friends to figure out that tip.
Well, I was just curious, as a little icebreaker. I'm assuming you all got something at TFcon. Like, if you were to highlight like one cool thing you got, like maybe what it would be, as a form of discussionary icebreaking. Don't look under the table. You know, you don't look at. He's fine. He's trained. He won't throw up. But yeah, maybe starting on that end.
Sure.
Well, so I'm definitely more of a Transformers connoisseur. I did get some things, but the thing that I want to highlight is getting to meet Simon Furman in person and getting to interview him.
Nice.
Was really a big win for me. So I really was really happy about that. I'm still.
Wait, hang on. Sorry, Daryl. What was that?
I said the question you usually ask me, you need to ask him.
How many comments did you bring?
First of all, I will answer that question because. So
First, you got to ask him this. Anyway, I'll answer.
So I want to say, because Simon Furman has been a very long time since he's been here, and I've never met him in person. I brought 47 comics for him.
Only?
Well, that's, yes, so, Charles.
Okay, yeah. So before coming, I didn't know Simon was charging $10 a signature. So I was just pulling stuff. I said, okay, I'm drinking. I've got every era of Simon Furman. I'm putting them all in. Then I got here, and Friday night I said, well, let me count and see how many comics I actually brought with me. And it was 205.
So, hold on.
2,050 numbers for the signature.
That is
Potentially.
yeah, potentially. Yes. I did not spend $2,050 on signatures this weekend. So,
That's just like a bulk deal? Yeah, 5 are free.
yeah, the first 5 were free, so I got 15 signatures. So.
Is this bullying Daryl? I don't like. You're just getting in on his thing, but like you went triple digits straight away. Hey, hey, you know that I bought 205 comic books. So what did you do?
It was a hold my beer.
Well, I actually have a Simon Furman story. Actually, one of our hopes for our channel. He actually had the first comic book that Simon Furman wrote, and he never had that, so he actually gave it to him as a gift. So I thought that was pretty cool. That something getting to that. So shout out to him. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get those things. I went on a murder crime rant about that because Scotiabank decided to, all weekend, decided to take my debit card and not return it back. And so I've been asking people to send me money.
Carol Scotiabank.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I'm not a comic book guy, toy guy, so how many did you bring? Comics? None. Okay. Not a single one. I didn't even leave with one. But I bought a lot of toys, and I have no idea what the highlight is. Actually, you know what? I didn't intend on buying it, but I got the Unique Toys Onslaught from the Brightsea table. And I wasn't looking for that figure, but that was pretty cool. But I will share one other thing. That's probably the best thing I got from this weekend is yesterday when we were getting together to like head out to dinner. Some guy walks up to me, pokes me in the shoulder, and goes, "Hey!" Like, hey, and he kept walking, and I didn't know who this guy is. And we're all looking around. They all ask me, "Who is this guy?" I think Daryl looked it up on his phone. He was carrying me up. And so I ran into him today, and I was like, "Listen, I didn't have a chance to come back yesterday." And he looked at me like, "I'm really sorry. I thought I knew you from another convention. I realized that I didn't." And I'm like, "Listen, it's okay." And I knew you were Mrs. Doubtfire, so if I had known it was you, I would have replied like, "Piss off, Lou." So it wasn't the movie. And I actually had a really good talk with him, and he was really nice. So it was a kind of weird, serendipitous moment. That's what we call shooting your shot. You walk by, just jab someone in the shoulder, and you hope they come to your table later on.
There you go. It worked. It worked. So keep that in mind if you become famous. There you go. I was lucky enough found one of my pizza I've been looking for a while on a Friday at a parts party. I have at home. I have a really nice Thunderclash. If you know what Thunderclash, if you own one, you don't touch it. Just leave it alone. But at the parts party, I'm sitting there and I'm walking into somebody's room or whatever, and I see a really nice looking complete Beast Machines Optimus Prime or Machine Wars. Yeah. And I was like, holy crap! There's a Thunderclash that I can mess with. So I bought it. It was a great price, so I'm really happy that I have that now. It's not fancy, but yeah, I'm really super stoked that I got that.
Hell yeah.
I came here looking for, well, a few things, but one specific thing, Rich, Q, lots.
Hey,
Lots,
It keeps going.
Rich, Q, lots.
If you're not familiar with Save This Pod, this podcast goes by episode, and we started by VTubers. We sort of breezed through the Tron trilogy and RD 2001, but we just recorded the last episode of Rescue Bots. So the last few months, we have been having a lot of feelings about Rescue Bots.
It weirdly has kind of become my favorite show.
It is the longest running Transformers series, right?
Yes. For what, it's 104 episodes?
I was gonna say, when you said you started with, was it Beast Wars you started with? I was like, yeah, Rescue Bots must have been like the mountain when you got there.
Little side. Before the podcast, the only episode of Rescue Bots I'd seen was the musical episode. I hated it. So I never touched the rest of the show until we got to it. It's like, oh, this is gonna be a pain.
I still haven't seen all of it, but I got introed with the Flobsters episode, so I have a good intro.
Yes. It's so good.
So I brought one comic to have signed, and it was. No, I just had so many experiences at conventions that everything I wanted to have signed was already been signed. But I needed to get Alex Mills to sign a copy of More Than Meets the Eye number 15 because it was the most emotionally traumatic experience of my life. But every time I come to a convention, I always end up impulse buying one thing that has not Transformers, but it's something really fun. And this year's, on the first day, like 10 minutes after getting to the dealer room, I impulse bought a carton of Boxmaster Ninjas
Nice.
because our planet is in a jam.
Listen, no one understands ninjas better than ninjas.
Yes.
Bossmaster is such a beautiful show. Zib Zoolander is a great protagonist who does not have his G2 era yet. When I saw that show as a kid, my mom said it's funny they're calling him CZ because that's like French slang for a dick. No comments on ninjas. Ninjas is fine. I love ninjas and I love Matt Rebo. I'm a big Jizz fan. Look it up. Wikipedia, whatever's on Wikipedia now.
But truly, the most treasured thing I will take home is the experience of coming back to conventions after I haven't been one-on-one.
Welcome back. For those who don't know, I'm going to gas you up for a second. For those who don't know, Trister's from some very OG Transformers fandom. Usenet days. Wow.
All toys, not Transformers.
Yeah.
Which Transformers Classics moderated.
Oh, I never messed with the moderated channel.
I was literally about
was
to
too young for
that. I was going to try to be clever. Hey, did you know that there was an Artist Alley room?
Yes.
Good. You didn't, and you're too late now. But there was some really good 3D printing stuff in there specifically. There's a lot of, I got some good stickers too. But there was one 3D printing where whose stuff was really resonating with me. I believe they Time for Fun Toys. They have like a Micromaster 6 combiner thing, but made for the new Siege ones. They had this little isopod transformer, and then this sick thing. This is a deluxe scale Armada dead end. It's the size of a baseball, and it feels like I could kill someone with it. I'm not sure how to transform it yet. The artist is working on some videos to put up with instructions, so I don't want to mess around too much. But it can do the whole deeply boopy thing, and it's heavy. I don't know what I feel of that.
Is there an in-scale Armada Unicron coming?
Not yet. I was thinking that it would be fun to just put that with my HasLab Unicron, you know, to make my HasLab Unicron evergreen. But yeah, there's some very cool stuff there. And in general, there was I saw the signal lancers that were in there briefly. There was a lot of cool stuff that Earth's Alley, and I had a lot of fun perusing it.
Robot squid.
Oh yeah, the robot squid.
Yes.
Yeah, Buffy's big orange squid with you mentioned the ball joints on that.
Yeah, that did,
Yeah, and the trumpet.
and the toilet.
The toilet was so good.
Yeah.
And bought.
Yeah.
It was close to buying.
So we all went to Argus Alley.
Yeah.
Okay.
So no surprise to my collecting lately, I ended up finding a Diaclone Reboot item, the Triburst Tri-Rambler, which fills in a different small gap in my Diaclone Reboot collecting. It's just more of the insane, hey, it all plays forward and backwards of this modern Takara Diaclone Reboot stuff.
Did you not get briefly in trouble when you were looking at War Readers?
Yeah, I was looking at Wall Readers and I was specifically told by Alfie not to start another thing. I was like, they're Diaclone. It's okay, it's the same toy line. And she fell right through it. So I didn't buy it.
Also, hey, why don't you introduce yourself and also tell us about a cool thing you got?
Yeah, I was about to tell her, so I thought I knew what the prompt was, because everyone started talking about comics when I walked in, and then it just evolved into I don't know what it was. So the prompt was what cool thing you got.
Yep.
Excellent. So I'm Josh. I'm from More Than Meets the Ear. We talk about Transformers Cybertron. And one of the coolest things I got was something I didn't know I needed until I saw it. And I think you guys just mentioned it was one of those 3D printed things in Artist Alley. It was from whoever it was that had the giant squid. I think you said Bundy. Yeah. It's the racing trophy from the whole Velocitron arc from Transformers Cybertron. And I just saw it there, and I'm must have this.
It's really worth mentioning since we brought it up so much. Funby was at the show to have physical stuff, you know, for sale and visible. Funby primarily sells digital files for home printing. So if you go look up FUNVIE and you have a printer, then you can get in on some of this. Anyone here have a printer? Those are your new friends, everyone who didn't raise your hands. They're your pal for the 3D printer. So this TFcon was also the Toronto TFcon to coincide with the 40th anniversary of the Transformers. And as someone who is roughly Transformers years old, I don't like that. So I would like to have things, you know, like fixed a little bit. But I was wondering if any of you had like a very, I don't know, anniversary kind of moment, like something. If it was the 40th anniversary, something that was very like, this is of time. I've been coming to TFcon a lot. I've been going to conventions a lot. I've been doing fandom a lot. Did something culminate for you this weekend? It's like a moment that made you think about the grand scope of how many comics you've brought to how many TFcons.
Well, I did get a picture with both Bob Budiansky and Simon Furman, and I held up like one of their comics. Like Bob Budiansky said, Transformers 17 is his favorite issue, so I held up that comic, and then I held up the comic that introduced the records for Simon Furman. So, and I'll definitely post that on social media. But yeah, I mean, showing that the origin of Transformers is now 40 years later, and I'm 40 plus whatever years later. It's
It doesn't have to be. We can just say it's not. Time's just a number.
yeah. Well, my kids keep reminding me that I'm old, so
You just gotta shake them. Are they here?
my wife and I think my kids are watching live. So
I think for me, there was a moment in time on Saturday when I definitely felt the 40 years. The walking around and my back really hurt, and I was like, oh, I can't do this much more. So I went to the room and sat. That's when I felt the anniversary. Yeah.
There was a point in the dealer room where I had bent down to go through the bins, and getting up, I was just like,
The sound helps, I've learned.
Yeah.
More primal to grunt, the easier it is.
It's the click, click, click.
Y'all gotta develop a good bucket squat for that stuff. When you get to the big toy bins, you gotta get your bin squat ready, 'cause then you just gotta like use thigh power to stand back up. Anyone out here got a good bin squat?
what?
Just making sure you're paying attention.
For me, it was like, because this year obviously it's bigger, because there's more events and so forth, and I saw a lot of G1 figures. And so I was just walking through the dealer room and outside of the dealer room as well, and I just saw all the G1 figures. It was like just flashbacks of moments of me being a kid, playing with my G1 figures, right? And so now when I go home and I see my collection of G1, I'm like, 40 years, man, that I had watched. Yeah, 40 years. I haven't used to wait for that long. So kind of brings a little tear as you get older, but I'm still young at heart.
It's all about that cyclic thing, right? Like I had not the same level, but I had a small one when I picked up a GoBot score. GoBots are very cool.
Yep.
And
Yes.
any GoBot I pick up right now is usually one I have never had. 'Cause I had a big GoBots moment a couple years back where I went too hard. But there are a couple I don't have. If I pick one up, it's like this figure existed as long as I have, yet I never interacted with it. Now I just found one in a bin. I had a good bin squat. I found one in a bin for $10. There's a lot of beauty, I think, in that kind of stuff. We touched on this in the 2003 Newsback panel, but like the pile that is like all of our different chronologies and younger fans with every generation, like kind of just stacking onto this community, I think makes for some really beautiful cyclic stuff that you're able to share with people, which gets away from the trope of like, you think about it all and damn, it's been so long. Instead, you can think about it all, and it's like, damn, and now I can tell all these people about it. Or someone might have that for the Unicron trilogy, right? And it's so wild to me. I really get excited about that stuff.
Yeah, I think the more that I talk to people who have come in, I mean, my original Transformers was G1 because I'm 45 years old. And talking to people whose first Transformers was Beach Wars, or their first Transformers was Cybertron, or their first Transformers was the movies. And that just reminds me that this is something that is just ongoing. There's always something new. There's always something fresh. The Transformers that I love today is not necessarily the Transformers that I loved 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And just meeting lots of people and hearing about their early experiences and, how they came into it, what really hooked them has been, that really shows me that yeah, it's been 40 years and it's not going away. I mentioned at his panel about the fanzine project that is going on. And one of the little anecdotes I wrote up for that was that when I was a teenager back in the 90s, I thought I'd really like to get an Autobot symbol tattoo. Well, who's going to know what that is in 20 years? Actually, yeah, everybody. So yeah, that's happy anniversary. It's still going. We're still here.
Any long timers out there? I almost called you in the chat. What's wrong with my brand?
I'm thinking of addressing my foster cats that way from now on. Like, hey, chat.
That's the word for cat, it's Shaq.
Exactly.
Same way.
It works in Canada. Anyone out there out here sitting here in the IRL chat? Anyone here long time again, multi-decade perhaps? Over here. Are y'all feeling it though? Are y'all having a good time still? Yeah. If you're not, we'll make you. But yeah, that's been a really fun part about like conventioning this year. Like I got to go to LA as well, so I'm kind of spoiled. But like going to 2 Transformers conventions with lots of people on the 40th year. There was always a worry I had back in 2001 that something like this on the 30th year would just be kind of like, how do you put it, very memorialized. Where you're like, oh, remember when we posted on boards and then everything ended? But it didn't. There's something about the continuity of it that I find very refreshing and remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I was up on Voice Transformers, and I'm here wearing more than meets the eye T-shirt and doing a podcast for Rescue Bots.
Yeah.
Well, I just like to add, because it's, just to prove the points even more, like one of our questions, or one of our last questions we asked our engineers is like, what got you to Transformers, right? And, or which cartoon, right? And normally it's always been G1, but now it's less and less G1. It's like Comic or Rescue Bots or, Armada, right? And it's like, wow, what happened to G1 now, right? So you can tell how times are changing and different people are getting into Transformers for different reasons, which is a good thing, don't get me wrong.
But
But it tells you 4 years
yeah.
it's gone by, right?
The only thing that's truly shaken me about the passage of time this weekend is learning that Charles brought 205.
Yeah.
I overestimated.
Get it right.
205 comic books. It's like, I thought I knew it.
I mean, the sad thing is that's a fraction of what was on Furnace at home. That was
So that would be going through the collection and saying,
the important one.
This collection of 200 books for the
this is all the box. It's stuff to the guilds.
Daryl, you have to ride this out. You have the whole rest of 2024 to ride this out.
You just strip it down to the essentials, only the most essential 205.
You're asking Daryl to hold on to a joke and make fun of Charles for the same thing for a long time?
Hey, you got to twist his arm apart.
I did want to bring up, we were talking about the anniversary, like healing it and whatnot, and I felt it not here, but this past year. So my regular job, I teach high school, and I always have like a Transformers poster in my room because I gotta make it feel like home. I gotta make it feel like that. And it was a Rise of the Beast poster, because it's what I found. And the kids were like, "Oh, what'd you think of this movie?" Blah blah. And I'm like, "Okay. Who's your favorite Transformer?" Soundwave. Who's that? Oh my god.
That's when you are getting ads on their reports.
Well, and then when they all start telling me, well, my favorite's Bumblebee because he's such a cool little ninja warrior thing, and that whole radio thing he does is awesome. And I'm just like, you just failed class. Sorry, you failed for the year.
I twist the knife on you slightly.
Yeah.
I was playing Magic the Gathering with my Transformers Commander deck. And I was running Soundwave, and I played Soundwave in his ultimate mode. And one of the opponents said, "What's that?" So I said, "It's a box." So that's pretty neat. I bet it's magic or something. I was like, "Yeah, he turns into a magician's box." Anyway, next, I'm going to counter the next spell you play. I'm carrying his lands.
Now it's personal.
They asked what are the subjects? And they asked what are the little tiny things that come out of the box?
Well, no, because he spits them out in robot mode. He spits out rapid relation
Yeah.
robots. They just take it for granted. Oh, he's deploying his little gargoyles. All right, that's
Would. And one last thing in class, you get to the end of the year, we're not doing much to show a movie. They ask what movie we're showing. I'm going to show Transformers. And they get real disappointed. Real disappointed when it's not Michael Bay. And the entire time, you're just like, what is this crap? Get out of my class.
what's it lit though?
Yeah, exactly. It's like if I'm forced to watch a movie all day, it's going to be a movie I want to watch. You can deal with it in 45 minutes.
I have
The kids going every 2 minutes.
No, they weren't. They were just like, this is stupid. I'm going to go play on my phone.
I have a hack to get around that situation. It's a life hack. Is you simply get overly attached to characters nobody knows about anyway. Like my permanent lore bow, as the kids call it, is Action Master Elite Omega Supreme. So I just latch on to him, and then when they say, "What's your favorite Transformer?" I say, "Him." No, everybody just goes like,
I don't know when you started, but it's 4:54 now.
So we're about 20 minutes before next spring.
That's correct. Yeah, did you know that that's an Action Master Elite that came out of the European G1? And if we've already been going for like 20-some minutes, that might be a good time to do maybe the first call in case there's any Q&A. Anyone wants to just shout something at us or ask a question. There is a mic available. We can keep talking too, but I just want to make sure you know it's there.
Yeah.
It's the one that's floating right by the camera. So if you do ever get the inspiration, just go and let it. We'll see you doing it. So we'll pause them. and get into it. Someone's already doing it.
Now it's on. Oh, it's in the middle. I heard my
Last question.
Okay. Question. Oh, okay, here's the question. Between G1 and Michael Bay, which one you like the most?
Just the two or everything between?
Everything, including every single movie, including all the existing animation, everything, pretty much. All this is like all the Transformers movie, including live action, anime, pretty much all of them. Which one do you like the most?
I really liked Beast Hunters because it was nice to hear Batman Beyond talking through Bumblebee for a bit. It was the most refreshing moment I had because like I didn't think they were an action movie. I said that was like 3 episodes. But and also seeing Frank Welker's one of his final performances with Megatron so far, having a character moment, kind of vaguely unearned or vaguely weird, given it was that he already died. But you know, the conclusion that he going like, "Yo, this is screwed up. I'm leaving." I really enjoyed it. Unironically, it's one of my favorites.
All honors.
I'm more of a comic person.
What's your favorite comic movie that's MCU? I'm saying MCU things. So what's my favorite comic movie?
Yeah.
What do you actually want me to talk about? How much I like the low-key Disney Plus series?
Yo, that was actually solid though.
So good. It was not what I expected, but what it was actually extremely
It
good.
was experimental and it didn't always hit, but it was good. I really like that.
It was doing some really interesting things. Also, did you know that at one point Duck's Head was employed by the Tiberians Authority
Yeah.
in a Fantastic Four story? So there's a connection.
Oh, yeah. I did not.
But as far as
I'm 205 comic books.
I'm always an anthology person. I'm not a big. I will watch Carnage in C minor before I would sit down and watch any of the baby movies.
Okay. Oh, listen, let's do everyone talk at the same time. What do you hate the most of all the movie? Which one do you hate the most? Everyone say at the same time. The most hated movie, everything for the all Transformers movie.
Last night.
Age Extinction. Age Extinction.
Expected.
There kept being.
It was like the 4 movies that were kind of smushing into each other and lost parts of it.
I'm a writing person, so I'm like very aware of things like the story arc and the act structure, and there kept being moments where I was like, so this is almost over, right? Great. The Dinobots haven't even shown up yet. And killed Fraser.
Yeah.
This one, Fraser.
Yeah.
There's a point where Marky Mark is going to the bank and then make sure to zoom in on his debit card for a Chinese bank. The random man.
There's something
That
about
bank was financing the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they screw my grandma. They screw all my grandma love, even the big one. And it's like,
I gotta see that in defense of killing Fraser. Wasn't it kind of funny though how he did a ragdoll cartwheel when he got shot with a missile?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that the death wasn't entertaining, but as a huge Frasier fan at the time, it broke my heart to see Optimus Prime, my childhood hero, murdered Frasier.
Well, Fraser should have done better. I don't know. If I had a sitcom hero, but they had to get off by a robot, I'd want them to Gary's on it like he did. Just like, I like that.
To answer your question, since there was a good leeway there about, Optimus Prime murdering somebody, for me, obviously H6, right? But if we're gonna have to pick one today, it would be Dark Side of the Moon, because that's when they first introduced Murder Prime.
Let's kill them all!
And so, and not just only that, Linda and humor within it as well too, which she did a fantastic job. So, out of all the big ones, sorry, back up to Dark Side of the Moon.
There was a lead into Murder Prime, and Revenge of the Fallen with the "Give me your face." That's where the bloodlust started.
I want to say that I subjected my father, who was a big Star Wars original series fan, to Sentinel Prime. And when he does that with the needs of the many, my father said, "How dare you?"
Transformers.
Sorry.
Yes, they're like the original series. Words are hard.
I'm
Like a podcaster.
as Trickster, along with Trickster, I'm also a big fan of the comics. So for me, the comics are the place where I think Transformer storytelling shines. Like all the iterations of comics really take their time to delve into the lore. That's where all the big ideas of Transformers come from. And so, like, I had like those issues 1 through 80 of the Marvel US run.
That you wanted him to sign.
Well,
They are all.
he only wrote 54 through 80, so.
Over the other 256 comics he brought.
The UK run was 332 issues.
You didn't read all of them?
Wow. Also Dreamwave and IDW and Transformers Regeneration 1 and Transformers 84.
Can you please get it for you?
You brought it lacking.
I selected stuff from every era, so you know.
I would say I went to the cartoon as a kid when I discovered the comics as back issues in the 90s. And if I hadn't discovered Simon Furman stuff, I wouldn't be here right now. The cartoon would not have kept me in the fandom enough. But those comics hit right at the right age for me to be exactly what I needed.
Yeah, I mean, and in the 90s, I love Beast Wars, but in the 90s, when there were no Transformers comics really, from like 93 to 99 or so, I was reading those issues over and over and over again, lurking on all the Transformers, reading fanfics for people who would continue the Transformers comics because there was no official stuff, so I was deep into the fanfics because that was the only place you can get more from that comic universe. And yeah, so that's everything for me, and you know that continues to this day, much to the chagrin of my family.
How excited were you about that G-Axis?
Oh yeah, I had yeah. I forgot to bring. I should have had Simon sign that. I forgot to bring that.
Yes, because he even mentioned that he was like really happy to see that existed.
Yeah.
That toy impressively has a nose too.
I really love that they kind of fixed his jet mode, but absolutely not. He has the jet mode of an afterthought designed by a comic artist with no toy engineering background. And they were like, we are going to translate this exactly. They did not make any attempt to make it like a real jet.
And he transforms with gusto too. That's why I stick up for Cybertronian modes in general because they always have such gusto, even though they're going for something that most people go like, wow, a shape. But it's like, no, but don't you see? Like this is a space shape.
That's a future space ship.
Usually it's supposed to be pronounced space.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta combine the tanks. I got contact.
And the submarine.
Oh, I love submarines. Yeah, going back to G1, all the upside down submarines in G1.
It's a shame that, like, you know, they had those animation errors where they were flipped the wrong way around, but like, it's a classic piece of fandom trivia.
Yeah.
And hey, they were creative because they were given these model sheets, and it's like, hey, do we send it back and flip the submarine the right way around, or do we just have like, I'm gonna start to hold on to the submarine, and use it like a gun.
I mean, not just that, but the idea to shrink the submarines down so they were hand-sized.
Yeah,
Very clever.
they did. Yes, they did.
Thank you.
And no worries.
I'm a live stream, and usually what we ask everyone who's a guest, if out of your entire collection, if something were to happen in your house, hopefully this never happens, what's the one figure that you would run back to that house for?
I would be grabbing the Metagame Shattering that I was gifted because that's the special supplement that I met at this convention. So, you know, I feel like there's a real soul connection there. And like that would be like leaving a pet behind, except, you know, not a pet, but equal, someone who I listen to, and, you know, whatever she tells me to do, I'll do it because, you know, God going off, she's the malevolent master wife. What was the question?
If I had one, okay. If I had one thing to, that like the thing from, door. If I had one thing to rescue, it probably would be that original Power Master Optimus Prime one, because that's like the chocolate toy. If not, it would be Computron, which was right there next to them in all.
a young Aaron's play mentality.
Yes, it is from that, okay.
Yeah, but,
A lesson.
well, it's coming from me moving something and you missed that, so. I won't.
Big shout out to the AV crew for all their fine service at the show.
Oh, he knows what I'm going to use this as an excuse to bring up. Because mine is not a toy.
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about.
So back at BotCon 97, the first one where we had real guests, Simon Furman brought a stack of original art from things that he had worked on. And as I was going through that stack, I found that he had brought the original art to the single-page Death's Head strip High Noon Text, which I now own. And I would, of course, first make sure that all the cats under my care made it out safely, and then I'm going back for the original art to High Noon Text.
Still priorities, still priorities.
Cats are important.
Yes,
It's
they-
not more important than literally irreplaceable historical comic artifacts.
And I think the phone that we really looked at, like, it's Bud Light.
Bud Light's cool.
The BotCon one, because that was like the first large chunk of money I spent on toy.
Well, I mean, I answered this question on your stream yesterday, but I'll mention it again. I have a studio, or O1 Studio Cell, which I love. It's in the cabinet. It's my desk when we record. And I really love looking at that. But I mean, that is third party. And I mean, I do want to read a lot of really expensive G1s, but generally it'd be that one just because I just really like just the look of it.
What about the C, the brothers?
Oh, I mean, I haven't really gotten that one. I like the Unicron. I'm not super into the Primus, but yeah.
You also can only pick one.
Oh,
Right.
I bet you the other one of those people would, except if I try to transform it.
I mean, you got two hands, one planet each, right? It's right.
It's a pretty big planet.
It is a big planet. It's true. For me, it would probably be my RID 2001 Omega Prime. Just because I had the Optimus Prime as a kid. Years later, only a couple years ago, I got the Ultra Magnus to combine it. They're both complete, and it's just a culmination of everything I love about Transformers. You got transforming robots. You got an armoring up Optimus Prime. You got a combining function. You have lights. You have sound. You have spring-loaded missiles. It's the perfect toy, and I love it. And it means a lot to me to have in my collection.
Well, for me, it's my G1 Mega Supreme. And the reason why I say that, it's almost basically what you just said, right? And not just only that, that was my first big toy or figure that I was able to buy. When I say I mean me, not my parents, because my parents, they didn't really buy things for me like that. So I had to collect a lot of Coke bottles. And I mean a lot of Coke bottles that, yes, anybody younger than very young generation back in the day, they used to collect Coke bottles and used to get 5 cents or a nickel or a dime.
Or even sell newspapers.
That too, newspapers. So, but I collected a lot of bottles for that Mega Supreme. So if I gotta say something, that's gonna be that.
It's probably no surprise that since I've been going on about comics, it's gonna be a comic, so,
But one, but not 200.
yes, just Transformers number 75, the original Marvel US run, that was the issue where they had their big Unicron epic moment. And actually, I mean, I don't know if this is controversial, but I think that was better than the 86 movie. I think that was that issue of Transformers number 75, that story was epic. I really loved it.
I love how we're living in a world.
I'm afraid something's gonna get thrown over here.
I love how we're living in a world where your house is on fire and you can only save one comic. So you have to take your time to flip through your comic and find the right one instead of just grabbing the whole box.
If only I hadn't packed it in with 204 other numbers.
phone orders, you know.
For me, there are so many figures in my collection that I would deem as irreplaceable or expensive enough to warrant that, like, go grab the one thing that I couldn't pick from any
You
of
just
them.
go down fire.
No, I set out for something practically worthless. That when my girlfriend and I went to see Rise of the Beasts, she surprised me by buying the Optimus Prime truck popcorn bucket.
Oh, the popcorn. Oh, that one.
It was very early in our relationship. It was so sweet. It made me so happy because it was something about, oh, that thing's cool. Not $50 cool, but cool. And then there she was with it full of popcorn. And I later got it signed by Peter Cullen at a TFcon. And it's like, well, I guess that'd be the thing I'd say, because it has so much sentimental value behind it.
Yeah. Can you still eat popcorn out of it?
I could. Like,
But then you're not gonna wash it, right? The signature's on top of it. You can't wash it. Yeah.
You could line it with wax paper, but then you got like a wax paper lined giant $50 popcorn bucket that's also signed by a veteran voice actor.
Just buy another one.
One for show, one for popcorn.
Yeah. That's all you expected to. All
I made
expected.
no indication that you needed to eat popcorn out of, but that's the whole collective is pressuring you. Why don't you get a second one for popcorn use? Stop trying to juggle all these responsibilities.
We gotta get to popcorn.
Hi guys. I was just wondering, for all these conventions, who's been your favorite Transformers celebrity that's gone to these, or favorite moment?
David K is mine because he always greets me with, "Hey Chris," and he makes me feel cool for like 2 seconds. And I'm like, oh man, David K remembered. Aww. I get all bashful.
Don't make any choose between Simon Furman and Aaron Archer. It's not fair.
Yeah, I didn't have, on the design and engineering side, I've had a lot of really good conversations with Archer Monster. Just about how processes work, and I'm an aerospace engineer, and it's amazing how many weird, like, tangents and parallel things are between something as precise as that and something as open as toy design.
Archer also always says, "Hey Chris," and makes me feel all cool for 2 seconds, makes me feel all bashful.
Yeah. Well, Aaron and I share a cool name, so.
I know 2 Aarons.
Yeah. You think you're better for it, first, or something like that, sure.
I found that over the past few years, I've really enjoyed just hanging out with Frank Todaro at the bar. And the one thing that really sticks out to me is when Kermit the Frog shows up, Frank Todaro turns into a 5-year-old. And it's one of the most adorable things to see. He just makes Kermit sit on his shoulder, and they're inseparable from then on.
Frank also always says, "Hey Chris," and makes me feel cool for 2 seconds.
Whoever's at the bar sitting next to me, I guess.
He also.
I mean, I've had some fun ones. It's hard to argue between, Mr. Hellman or Mr. Meltwell, they're top tier, right? I mean, outside of Transformers, I've had some pretty awesome deliveries as well, but I could go with them as well. Just they're awesome.
I mean, the story I told about Derek McGovern earlier was actually just funny, so that might stick out to me. But other ones, it's hard to pick. I really like talking with a lot of the comic artists, and over the years, like Alex Milne and Andy Griffith, like all of them, it's really just fun to talk with any of them. Especially if it's not about Transformers comics, just random stuff in general. Because I'll sit and talk about mecha and anime with them, and it's just a blast. Especially if like they're having a chill moment, just talking for them about that kind of stuff and what inspired them.
I haven't had fortunate moments with any of our guests. Like I met Frank and Peter, right? Where they could have a fan, right? Get them signed or whatever. But I haven't had that opportunity yet, which I'm hoping maybe next year that I can sit next to them to a bar and have a nice cold drink with them and talk about some really cool stories. So that's my goal for next year.
Yeah, so, I mean, of course, this year, Simon Firm was a big thing I hadn't mentioned before, but, if I go back, like, I started coming to conventions 10 years ago in 2014. I went to BotCon first time, and before BotCon, and I'm, at this point, we just started transmissions. We haven't been doing it for a year, so I was just getting into the community, trying to meet people. We started trying to interview artists and writing things, and I reached out to James Roberts and John Barber before BotCon, and asked them if I could interview them while I was there, and wound up like going out to dinner with them and just hanging out with them. And since then, I've gotten to hang out with lots of transfers and comic artists, Scott mentioned Alex Milne, Andrew Griffith, and Livio Raffadelli are here, Casey Collar, and all these guys. Just being able to hang out with them, have dinner, drinks, whatever, and just interact with them as people, and have them say, "Oh, we listen to your show and we love what you're doing," and having them say that to me, where I thought these guys are awesome talented artists. I'm not on that level at all, so it's really awesome to just be able to interact with all those people here, and of course all the friends and fellow fans I've met at the convention. I mean, they're not celebrities, but that's what I look forward to every time I get to go to a TFcon. Is hanging out with people I've met and the friendships I've made here.
It's weird because when I meet those guys too, they always say, I've listened to your show and I really don't like what you do.
They say that to you?
They say that to me, yeah.
I mean, as someone who's heard feedback from other people, yeah, that's accurate. Something on G.I. Joe. Did you bring them 205 comics to sign? No. The true convention was the friends we've met along the way.
Yeah. Well, kind of going back to your question in a sense, I'm at that moment of time of making connections and starting to interview people. Like, I was literally stuck in that whole corner the entire time, right? And to do an interview over it, and that's the whole purpose of this, for me, that's the whole purpose of this convention, is to meet, network, and create new friends, right? Which I got invited to the podcast because this gentleman right over here, so I have to thank him again. How many times I said thank you. And so that's why I'm up here, right? And that's part of the journey of coming to these convention, and I guess it's part of the journey of doing podcasts as well too, is just meeting new people and networking, and hopefully I can get to their stage where, hey Pete, hey Frank, let's go for a beer, at the bar, right? So we're not.
That's like another 10 years down the road. That's 305 comics.
Okay. So now you know how many comics break 305 comics.
I don't think I have that. But I also, for me, every show that I've done 2 artist alleys at TFcon, this is my second year. And every time I've gone to the show since 2013, I've always given art to the people that come in. So just to get the reaction, giving that. But since artist alley is very well for the second year, I want to get back to you guys. If you're interested, I have prints for free for you guys from the catalog, because I have so many of them anyway. Sure, I'd like to pass it along.
Yeah.
You can pick which one that's your favorite from it. Yeah.
That's it. Oh, thank you.
Do you have any of them?
They're all in here.
No, I mean, the.
No, none of them, but just the favorite.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
Well, Vandalus has a custom one,
Yeah, I'm good.
so,
I'm good.
but I'll pass it on if you guys would like to go. I'm sure.
Thank you so much.
Meanwhile, hey, I drew a picture of you when you were looking.
I mean, it might go really cool in 2 seconds, but also unnatural. But yeah, no, I'm good. I have a very kind pair of pieces that are mine.
Because they felt your mom's birthday.
I love it. No, it's very kind. That's really cool of you to do. I have one original piece of myself that I had done by one of the character designers from King of the Hill. I asked him to draw me as one of the characters because I love that show. And when he was done with it, I looked at it and I was with my friends and I'm like, do I always look like I'm this sad? They're like, yeah, kind of. Okay. I guess that's like in a way, that's like putting the harshest mirror on yourself, right? Is a form of caricature. Yeah. You go to an artist and say, no, just draw me the way you would if I were a cartoon character. And they look at you and go, all right, time to draw out your extremes
and render you to a trope. Could be rough. I mean, there's Derek Wyatt did an April Fool's picture of me once, and it's very cute. My mom loves it. She put it onto mugs just for herself. Just for herself. It felt really cool. But yeah, more people should get art commissioned of themselves, unegotistically as a diagnostic.
I don't know, man.
Draw the inner me, whatever you see. Don't go to a character artist like on a street side to do it unless you really trust them. You gotta know what you're getting into with that stuff.
Slides wonder skip and stuff.
I think we're probably, this is winding down now.
Let the tech guys go, let everybody else get dinner.
Lock the door.
So we should probably end with everyone plugging their podcast. So if anyone out there wants to listen, they know where to find it.
So as I said, I'm on More Than Meets the Ear. We talk about Transformers Cybertron. There's a lot of weird theater references and musical outbreaks because we're theater kids. It's quite a lot of fun. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus, but we're coming back soon. We're just waiting on someone to be not sick anymore to record our next episode.
Sickness will get in the way.
See if we can move this without it exploding everything again. Okay, all right.
Yeah, Chris and I are on the TFW podcast found at TFW2005.com. Theoretically, it's still the good podcasters, but there's a Zoom user out there that keeps getting upset at us if the link's not working. We're sorry.
It's a WTF.TFW. Also, it's relevant. Go to YouTube and find the playlist of our streams going through the 2003 era news. It's basically like a podcast, but with lots of visuals. So it's like a YouTube stream.
Yes, you were telling us about that in an earlier panel.
Yeah, you should go to 1 p.m. today and check out Deep Defending the Fandom News 2003.
Get your briefcase, get your time travel briefcase, and go back.
At 88 miles per hour.
Yes, we did.
Yes, 88 miles per hour was in that podcast.
So our website is iconunderground.net. We do StatusCon. Like I said, we are getting close to episode 400. We're actually probably past episode 400 because there was a point where we got weird, like 0.5.
Weird numbering stuff. Official episodes, we're not at 400, but we've done side episodes. In between seasons, we do episodes of other random 80s and 90s cartoons, just to take a break and make fun of them.
Some of them are pretty.
Numbers Botmasters. What's numbers Botmasters?
Was that a Patreon or was that the?
I think
we
it was-
did an episode of Boxfest.
No, that might have been a Patreon.
It might have been monthly. We do Patreon episodes of something fun.
But we should remember to throw that one up on free.
That's a good idea. We recently did a Patreon on the Masters of the Universe movie, which was a lot of fun. But yes, we do StatusCon, which we got all the way through Beast Wars, Beast Machines. We did a little bit in between, and then we did animated, and then we did Prime, and then we alternated seasons of Robots in Disguise 2015 and Rescue Bots. So now I'm excited for us to get to Bots.
Eventually, well, first we gotta get through Cyberverse.
Is Bots still on Netflix?
It's on there.
Okay.
It is also on my hard drive for archival reasons.
Yes, because we have a.
But only as a legitimate backup.
That's previously, like when we started watching RID, it wasn't available.
Yeah, we've definitely had to find questionable sources for some of this stuff, but it's all now on YouTube. Thank you, Matters. But we also have started back up with the approximately bi-weekly Icon Underground Radio News podcasts, which are a lot of fun because the reason we had to sort of take a break was because I work second shift, so we often end up recording them at literally like 1 in the morning. So it's definitely not two friends chatting about toy news at 1 in the morning energy. So that was a lot of fun. It's Icon Underground Radio. And a fun older one in our back catalog that I was talking about the last TFcon I was at in 2019 in Reston. We did a series based, an episode by episode of Superhuman Samurai CyberCon for SSSS.Gridman, where we had guest stars on every episode. We had Trent Truth and Greg Sedlak to talk about the Shattered Glass tie-ins. We've had some Toku people in
Yeah,
now.
a couple of anime films, yeah.
Yeah, it was every episode we had different guests that we brought up. There was someone who we had on like the first episode and then like the 9th episode.
That was Trent.
That was Trent. And
Who hadn't seen any of the show at all and did not watch the episodes in between. It was.
And it's definitely a gift from community of coming in with the pizza and everything from fire.
What happened in between?
So that's also a fun one to look up because that is still out there and available, but it has completed.
We also did a lot of Friends episodes, mostly Patreon.
A lot of friends, yeah, we do a lot of fun stuff, but mostly Transformers.
Yeah, it's just that if we did almost 400 episodes, if we did Transformers all the time, I thought we would get bored. So between seasons, something silly.
Yeah, usually something that's like, or, between Beast Wars.
Yeah, originally it was like.
Because it was like Meanwhile in Japan.
Yeah.
We did the Beast Wars second movie, because Meanwhile in Japan. But we got a little more off the rails, because like what even was coming out at the same time as RAD
Yeah.
Rescue Bots. It's like, oh, let's do an episode of Netflix. We'll try.
And we rambled enough.
Yeah.
We will go on.
Yeah, so, Transmission Podcast, I mean, Charles will kick in on this a bit too. We're transmissionpodcast.com. You're on the doctor. Thank you. We're a bi-weekly show. Our Wednesday show is about toys, and that's where I shine. And then our Friday show is about comics and media, and that's where I get made fun of looked at.
But not anymore.
I'm really gonna harp on about the 205 books. We are currently reviewing the TFcon series, the Energon universe, as I've been forced to read all of the G.I. Joe books to the state, which I am very upset about.
Transformers.
You mean the exciting Energon Universe TM by Skybound Entertainment? Available now?
That exact one.
Yeah, so we've been reviewing that.
We also commissioned a custom cover.
We did issue 1. Yes.
With art by EJ Susan.
Yeah.
Did all the art on in the original IDW infiltration visit.
Yeah, and we, Charles has a couple of those covers here that right now on you. If anyone's interested, we're selling them for $20 Canadian. So if anyone's got $20 spare. But yeah, as far as episodes go, we're in our 11th year right now. We're about to hit episode 600 on the main show, 400 on the comic show. We've got a bunch of Patreon stuff. We've got a live play RPG show. That's only for, it's not only for everywhere, it's the regular show will go live after a week of being on Patreon. We like big bots with Scott and myself. We just pick a character in our collection and we grab all the toys we can find of that character. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
Talk about how much we love those individual figures.
And that's shows just for our Patreons, so we do that. And we've got an awful lot of interview shows in our back catalog. So we have talked with Dave Kay, talked with Dan Gills and Greg Berger.
Simon Berman this week.
Yeah, Simon Berman, we just reported today. Basically all the comic people over the years, we've talked with every one of them. So it's been fun. Who knows what's going to come next? But yeah, we're still going to churn them out. So.
I mean, I'm also on Transmissions. I'm one of the guest hosts. They plugged all that, but I have my own YouTube channel called Nerdstradamus, and we're on all the social media too. If you can't guess from the name, we do a lot of nerdy things. There is some Transformers content because I forced my friends to do that, even if they're not interested. One of my favorite things I've done is take my one friend who knows nothing about Transformers and said, name that robot, where I get the Transformers figure and I say, name him, and tell me what he transforms into. I don't know if he's a genius or an idiot at naming, but it's somewhere there. But we also do a lot of music. We did a cover of the Beast Wars theme song. We've done songs called I Love Robots and Robot Redemption, stuff like that. But if you look up Nerdstradamus, we have a link tree. You can find all our stuff there.
The Beast Wars thing, you did do a variant where it was Beasties. I appreciate
We did because after we released it, I think you specifically mentioned it, and it's like, I told my friend who's a musician, like, we have to do a Beasties cover. To which he says, what is that? And I had to explain that to someone the other month. My friend TFcon was on through an Elden Ring stream and this came up because TFcon's from America. And someone had mentioned Beasties. She's like, what's that? And I'm like, well, in Canada, we couldn't have war in 1997 because we were too peaceful. So we re-recorded an entire theme song and it's called Beasties. And her response was something like, that's a really funny bit you're doing, but you're not going to make me look stupid.
It was a thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay, my turn. We're in the new kid on the block. We're called Children of Primates. We do a weekly show on YouTube, and obviously we're on all the social platforms as well too, from 8 till 10. We talk about obviously Transformers. We do news and reviews, and talk about everything anything Transformer, and it's also related. So it could be political, it could be life stories, it could be in. We talk to a whole bunch of guests as well too, and not just only that. What we try to do that if you want to join our show and talk about what we're talking about, or you want to add something, you can always join our show and be involved in talk about Transformers. So we're all children of primates. That's how we look at it. Oh, .com. Yes, right. It could be .ca, but it's .com. What did you have about it?
Sitting here typing .org, .cards, .at, like, why is it working?
So, yeah, already mentioned the Transmissions podcast. I'll just say again, the Empire of Rust, Transformers Live Play RPG podcast. That's an awesome show that is on our network. So if you go to transmissionspodcast.com, you can find it there. It's we have 3 seasons of an original RPG story set in a variant of the IDW universe. And none of us are the main characters on it, so it's a completely different cast of people. But if you don't like any of our voices here, so I think that's really great. Also,
I was just gonna say, if you're a fan of IDW and you want more of it now that's gone, like, listen to it. There's about 120 episodes of it now. And if you've got a long drive back home from this, like say about 6 hours, great time to binge it. I will be.
and we run a Discord server, so we have a community for all our listeners. So if you go to transmissionspodcast.com/Discord, you can join up there and interact with us and interact with lots of fellow Transformers fans.
Sorry, was that .com?
Yeah. .com. Transmissionspodcast.com/Discord/Discord.
Oh, we have the forward slash. It's in the forward slash.
/Discord.
The .gg or you have a
.biz?
Yeah, do you have .gov yet?
Guys, the word dot starting to mean.
What about .dot? Hey, can I also just say, if I understood correctly, we do have some folks here who have not done one of these kind of podcast roundtable panels before, right? So I wanted to say, like, hey, welcome to fun times and fun collaborative experiences up here, and y'all did really well. If it is your first time for real doing one of these like this.
It is my second time and my first time in 5 years.
I mean, that's practically your first time, right? They say yourself, generally, by the time 5 years pass, you should have seen yourself a completely different genetic person. So technically, it's your first one, right? Yeah.
Also, that was in the DC area, so it doesn't count. Because it wasn't Toronto.
Proper. Toronto locals? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. Yeah, okay, we run this place.
You got a problem with the DC area? I'm from the city.
And hey, thanks to all of you for coming on out to a post-show panel. That is always a bit of an ask. I know that it's a bit of an ask, but also what else are you gonna do? But no, we always appreciate seeing folks coming out to just hang out, get a little bit of a debrief vibe. And hey, this time it's been double, triple streamed. So if you want to check up on something, like if you can't check up on it, then talk to all of them because
this will probably be episode 599 Transmission this week.
We're not 600.
600 is next week.
Do something about it.
Sorry, it's a very special episode that I will not be on.
What
Not
did
my
you-
special.
And also, once again, thanks to the AV team, thanks to everyone, like, especially thanks to Evan, I'm biased. We talked about Kermit briefly, I think you should know that.
Yes.
We did.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then, yeah, meat cake.
I love it, but I don't think somebody.
It's soft Kermit. It's meat Kermit.
Naked Kermit.
Eat something. You need to refuel.
Oh, one more thing.
Oh, sure.
Get picture. Holding the drawer that you had. You just picked it. Hold it.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Everyone has to say, see to what we do this.
3, 2, 1. Everyone, say cheese. Good.
Good choices, guys. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, now unlock the doors.
Yeah, try to get some energy on.
Now we're gonna just sit here and watch you all leave. Oh, yeah.
Next year. That was fun.
You saw 2 idiots.
Oh, wow, that's a little bit. Yeah, it's fun, actually. Well, it's a hard day. I was sure from like 10 a.m. here. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
Much.